What's good? I'm Matt Jumper, founder at Framer Commerce, and we just released our August update, which comes with a huge improvement to how your customers can engage with product variants on your site.
You can now place variant selectors anywhere and stack multiple selectors together for fully custom layouts and interactions, including add to cart or buy now. Any variant selection you make, including partial ones, will persist into your product display page. This includes shareable variant-specific URLs. And now you can effortlessly build image galleries with new variant-aware images. So now let me show you how easy it is to bring all this to life. So I'm looking at our offside template, and on the product display page, we have our variant selector here. As long as our three variables are connected to the CMS, to their respective fields, everything is going to function perfectly, and we can just customize the design and the behavior in this panel. And by default, all the variant options are going to be displayed all in the single component. And now looking at our HYDRA template, before I get into the actual breakdown of the file, I want to show you how the variants are set up on Shopify. So for the tank, we have 3 colors and some shirt sizes. For the HYDRA bottle, we have 2 colors and a single size. And then for the runner, we have 2 colors that are actually called model and not color. And then we have a bunch of shoe sizes. So let's take a look at how this is set up inside of this product card. So looking at our default state here, we have a variant selector, and this actually has our behavior set to a filter, which is new. So we can actually add a filter equals, and we can list out a list of the variant titles. So I showed you we have color for the bottle and the tank, and then we have model for the shoe. So if it matches any of these, it's gonna be displayed in this variant selector. And the action here is update active, which is the default function. On the hover state, we have this variant selector show up. Our filter is set to equals size, and the action is actually add to cart, and we can choose whether to trigger the cart after click or not. Because these 2 components aren't on the product display page, I want to make sure that this PDP toggle is set to no. So it's that easy to make these product cards now. So let's take a look at how you can make unique layouts. All of these components have filters on them. So we have this one set to color, this one set to size, and then we can customize the selectors however we please. Because we have filter on them, we can now actually set visibility conditions on a stack that it's inside of. So this one is variant color, and natively in Framer, we're just gonna make sure it's only visible if the variance contains the word color in it. Same thing for model. And then for size, we can actually get a bit more granular and set the visibility condition where variants contain size. And then inside, we can set another visibility condition for each of these stacks where the variable product type equals accessories or shoes or tops. And then this will match the same product type set on Shopify. So now when you go to bottle, you can see that we actually have a different variant selector for size. And for the sneakers, we actually have a unique shoe size selector, and we have a new layout where it's up and down, and we are using a grid of buttons instead of a drop down. So we have total customization over each layout. And then just a quick way to update the color swatches. If you open up the Framer Commerce plugin and go to store settings, you can do the same mapping. Just as you did the filters, we can say for the variant groups called color, these are the values to use. For the image swatches, name it model, these are the values to use, and you can upload these files. And then for variant images, these are the variant groups that I want to target. So you just want to make sure in the component itself that you're turning on the effects that you want to use. So I have color swatches on here, and it's going to map it to the color. And I also have image swatches on, and it's going to map these titles to model here. The last one, we have variant images, and this is where I'm using it on the product display page. For this variant selector, we are using the variant images here, so I'm turning this on for this control. And then I've connected all of these images to the CMS to pull in these images that again are set on Shopify and are all properly mapped. So now to get into setting variant aware images, you'll notice that we have 4 images visible here, even though we have 8 set on Shopify. And on Shopify, you can actually only connect 1 image to each variant. So to get images to show and hide based off the selected variant, what we're using is alt text on Shopify. If I click on the image of the first shoe, you'll notice that we actually have the word green inside the alt text, as I do for every other green shoe. And then for orange, I would have orange in that same alt text. This gets imported into the CMS, and you'll see that we have green for all the green shoes and then orange for all the orange ones. If I go back to the canvas here, all of these thumbnails, here are set using the product image variant static. We have our product ID set, we have our image set to image 1, and the number here for the image is 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So they're all statically mapped to each image. And then we have a visibility condition where it's actually going to be only visible if it matches the active variant. And we're doing this by matching the color green to the word green being in that alt text. Same thing for orange. And then we have a match rule. So by doing any, it actually means that technically if that alt text has the word green or the number 8, and it would be visible when you have that selected. Or if you do all, it would actually require both the size and the model to exist for it to show up. And then with this latest update, we have our product image variant that is dynamically showing the active image, as well as these thumbnails I just showed you. This is all it takes to create a image gallery now. We don't need complex nested components. You of course can still use them if you want to customize it, but it's easy to set up with just a couple components. And of course, our slideshow now has the same filters for variant aware images. So there you have the variant updates in the August release, but make sure you check out the site for the full release notes. And remember, Framework Commerce is free to get started.